Hi guys, it's Colette, and today we're going to be working on this pink drip marble accent for Valentine's Day. If you like nail art, be sure you're subscribed to my channel, My Simple Little Pleasures. And if you'd like to see how I did this design, just stay tuned. Starting out with clean, dry nails, I'm going to begin with a base coat. Today I'm using Madame Glam's peel-off base coat, and you can use whichever is your personal favorite. The polishes that I'm using today are all from OPI. The lightest is Pink of Hearts 2010. The middle pink is Be a Dahlia, Won't You? And the dark pink is The One That Got Away. And I decided to do this as an accent nail manicure for a couple reasons. One of those being to try this peel off with just like a plain style manicure. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is painting my non-accent nails, and I'm going to have one of each color. And I almost forgot here, one of these brushes is broken. I'm not quite sure how this happened. The actual plastic of the brush cracked, so the bristles are like starting to come out of the side here. So just a little trick if this happens to you. I've never had it happen before, so it's not that common, but you can just kind of smoosh the bristles back in there. It's still usable. My next course of action, if that were not to work, would be to just cut those bristles off. But for right now, just cramming them back in there seems to work okay. So I've got my non-accent nails painted. I'm going to be waiting with my ring finger and my thumb until after I pick up the marble with the stamper. I think if I add a base color, then the time it takes for the stamper to dry should make a nice tacky base. We'll see how that works out. I've got my lid here for my marbling. And I did a few tests for this, so I was kind of having trouble getting quite exactly the look that I wanted until I went with this kind of really goofy layout. And I'm using pretty generous drips of polish so that I'm, I hope, able to do both of my stamper heads completely, which should give me enough for all 4 nails. And the last time I did this, I thought I could get more than 1 nail out of a stamper, and the way I thought it would work didn't. And it was just one of those things where I was kind of so caught off guard that my idea didn't work. I wasn't able to kind of think on my toes and come up with a different solution, but I have a new idea, and we'll see how that works out when we get there. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish dropping these on. I started out, as you saw, with that weird layout and 2 drops of each color in the base, and then I'm just going along and adding drops of the other colors on top. Then I'm going to pick up my lid and swirl the whole thing around. Okay, this did not spread out as much as I wanted, and I just smeared my middle finger because I didn't top coat these nails. So I think for this one, instead of trying to like do some geometry and make this fit 4 nails, which, I mean, there's 4 nails worth of stuff here if I was peeling this up. I'm not sure if I'd be able to do it with the stamper. So I'm just going to pick this up. I'm going to use kind of like a rolling round motion to try and cover as much of the stamping head as I can. And then to be able to use this on 2 nails, because last time I found that it doesn't split really as neatly as I want it to, I'm going to take this dotting tool, and I was just looking at the design on the other side, and with the dotting tool I'm kind of going to go down the center, gently removing some of the polish, and that should allow it to break naturally there when I apply it to my nails. So I'm going to set this to the side and let it start drying, and I'm going to apply my base color on my index finger and my thumb, and I'm using the lightest pink. Like I mentioned, I think this should have just enough time to dry and get nicely tacky while the marble is drying, and that usually takes about 1 to 2 minutes. We'll give it a little tap test before we get to applying it on my nail. And while that's drying, I'll see what I can do to repair this ding in my middle finger. Okay, I did not exactly time this, but a little tap of the stamper head shows that this is dry enough to apply. And I'm going to start with my thumb, which I'm doing on the kind of the larger half of the stamper, even though this is a little bit awkward to get properly on camera. Like I mentioned, I ran that dotting tool down the center, so we'll just see if that's going to work as nice as I think. And I'm also skipping the liquid latex this week, as you may have noticed, because I'm lazy. And ooh, there we go. So there's the other half of the design still left on the stamper. Came up a little bit on this side, but there's still enough left, I think, to do my ring finger. So I'm just going to stamp that one on there, and I think that worked pretty well. I'm going to grab, what do I want to use here? Maybe I'll just use this dotting tool since it's still right here to kind of help me make sure the edges are pressed down on this. I don't want to have any gaps like at the side of my nail. And then, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to grab my nail implement. Almost couldn't find it there. This has got just kind of a sharp edge here. You could also use the edge of an orange stick or anything with a fairly sharp edge. And I'm just kind of breaking right along the sides of my nail. Whoa. And at the cuticle. And trying not to make too much of a mess. Maybe I should grab, I didn't think this through very well, as you can see. A little tweezer. There we go. And it's a little messy, but I don't know. I didn't have patience to apply any Simply Peel today. So, do like that. Over here we've got the thumb, which I can also, like I mentioned, break around the cuticle and the side of the nail. And then I'll see if I can just grab off these little extra bits. Oh, this is also, I should mention, something else that will vary depending on how wet your polish is when you stamp. Like, you don't want it too wet or the design won't really stay. You don't want it too dry or you're going to run into more problems with applications. It'll turn into more of like a decal situation, but I'm just going to go at it with a little bit of acetone. And once I finish my other hand, I'll go in a little bit closer, as I usually do, with a small brush to complete cleanup. Especially since I'm only doing this as accent nails, I'm not too mad that I did not use the Simply Peel, and I am quite pleased with how this drip marble turned out. So I've got the other half of my lid here, and I'm going to get to work on another set of decals for my other hand. Finally, finishing with a top coat, and as usual, I'm using Seche Vite. So here's the finished manicure, and although I did obviously have a few issues, overall I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. Really glad that I was able to consistently get 2 nails off of 1 stamper head, and I also like how this kind of unintentionally turned into an ombre from light to dark. But on the other hand, I'm also a little disappointed that the marble is so subtle. Maybe after Valentine's Day, I'll get around to another drip marble with a little bit more contrast. But I hope you guys like this one. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. I didn't make this a full drip marble manicure because, as I mentioned, I want to test how the peel-off base works with just a plain coat of polish. Also because I don't plan on keeping this on too long, and I'll admit it, I lazied out. So I didn't get this done quite as early in the week as I planned, so I don't know exactly when this will go up, but there will be a peel video specifically focusing on this manicure and how the Madame Glam peel-off base coat works with normal polish. If you missed it last week, I already posted a video of how well it works with gel polish. So at this point, I have pretty high hopes. And I'm not sure exactly when that video will be up, but just stay tuned. Maybe turn on your notifications if you don't want to miss it. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, thanks for watching.